So in this segment, we're going to be talking about MPs demanding answers from Visa and MasterCard over post-Brexit card fees hike. So effectively, what's happened is since Brexit, certain companies have raised their card fees without any explanation as to why they've raised it. So MPs have written to Visa and MasterCard to demand why they've increased their fees nearly sixfold when Brits shop with European businesses. So this is to do with people who buy directly from an EU business or vice versa. The Treasury Select Committee said fees, so British people buying from EU businesses or EU businesses, EEA businesses, sorry, it's the whole thing, buying from British businesses directly. The Treasury Select Committee said fees have risen from 0.2% to 1.15% when a UK customer uses their Visa or MasterCard debit card to buy something from Europe. And that might not seem a lot, but when you figure out how much people are actually spending on these products, it does add up, especially when it's just the card fees alone. So far, the companies have not explained the reason for their hike. The payments watchdog and MP said, and I remember recently there was a story back, was it last year? Certain companies increased their card fees, and Amazon said they would not be doing purchases with these companies. So effectively, people won't be able to use those credit card brands to buy goods from Amazon. So it genuinely does look like greed, in my opinion. The rise in October came alongside a jump in credit card fees from 0.3% to 1.5%, the MP said. Payment Systems Regulator, which is probing the fees currently. So they're looking into it, the regulator. The sellers pay the fee, but the end result could be higher prices for UK consumers, the PSR said. So maybe it's the case where if you try and buy something from, I don't know, Denmark directly, right? They could increase the price for you because they're going to have to pay more in card fees. Something along those lines. The fees do not apply to UK tourists shopping in a French supermarket, for example. So if I was in France, for example, and I want to buy something using one of these branded cards, I would not be hit with these fees. So it doesn't make sense. They are instead charged if someone in London shops online or over the phone with their UK card to get a delivery from a Paris-based business. Paris just being an example here. The same goes for European shoppers buying from British businesses. The fees apply to the European Economic Area, not just the EU. So it'd be countries like Norway as well, Switzerland as well as kind of EU countries. Before Brexit, the companies were tied by EU laws capping the amount they could charge. That changed when the UK left the bloc. So I'm assuming that the EU had a cap in place. Obviously, because of Brexit, we're outside the EU. There's no cap now, and so what that means is these companies have found not exactly a loophole, but a kind of loophole. So they could charge people in the UK more if they buy directly from the EEA, and people in the EEA more if they buy from the UK. However, the Payments Systems Regulator has informed us. So this is from the committee who have said the Payment System Regulator has informed us that it has not seen evidence that shows that there have been significant changes in the cost for issuers of enabling online transactions via the EEA issued cards in the UK or UK issued cards in the EEA. The letter read. So effectively, these credit cards, right, and debit cards, their fees, the cost of them doing business has not gone up. So essentially, if their costs haven't gone up, this is profiteering. The MP says, I would therefore be grateful if you could write to us with the underlying reasons behind your increase in cross-border interchange fees. And I do wonder, what could the UK or the EU do about this, considering we're both kind of, third parties to each other in a sense. Because the EU seems to have some sort of EEA-wide agreement about card fees. I don't know if that would extend to the UK, but this is just further reasoning why, because a lot of people use credit cards because they have added protections, right? What this kind of does is it will not have a massive impact on trade between the UK and the EU, for example, but I think it will have somewhat of an impact if you have to pay, significantly more in card fees, especially given the whole you got to pay customs fees and etc. All of these extra stuff, right? This will just further add to reasons why kind of the EU don't want to trade with the UK, and maybe why the UK wouldn't want to trade with the EU. The only problem is the EU have multiple other countries, really strong developed countries they can buy from. The UK has the Union, and that's it. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the UK doesn't have the Union. The UK has like a few countries within it. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.